G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Turbo Tristan and today we're going to be working on Ronda, the race car. Now you'll notice straight off the bat there's a few changes. We're going to get to those soon in the video. The number one big change we've got today is we have a new supporter, ZESTINO tyres. ZESTINO tyres are a road legal semi-slick, a very sticky street / competition tyre. Here's the tread pattern just here. They are pretty awesome. So awesome, in fact, I've got a set of them to go onto my Civic over there very soon. You'll notice more stickers on the race car. Today, we've also been down to Elusive Racing and got ourselves a set of headers for the car. Yes, we're looking to go faster. We've got a whole bunch of WHITELINE gear. So stick around and I'll show you where we get to with Ronda today. So you'll remember Stig, he's our suspension guy, and you remember John, he's our brakes guy, and together, the three grey-haired amigos, we're going to be working on this bad boy tonight. We've got a heap of parts. These are the new prototype T7 design MAXPEEDINGRODS coilovers. So we've had the T6s in there. We've sent back some feedback. We've dynoed both sets of shocks. These ones dynoed even better again, and I'll throw a graph up either here or later on in the video. We have Super Pro on board with some solid urethane bushed front lower control arms, so there's a pair of those. You'll remember from the first video we swapped out the broken clapped out standard ones for some more new standard ones, but now we've got some solid bushed ones. WHITELINE rear sway bar. We've got WHITELINE sway bar links. We've got some Type R CL7 subframe mounts, front adjustable WHITELINE links, front sway bar mounts and bushes, and we've even got some WHITELINE wheel nuts, which we already used, and even these cute little things, WHITELINE valve caps. We've got some awesome ZESTINO street legal semi-slicks, sports tires, I guess. These are really sticky. We've got a set of these, and I'll also be running these on my Civic as well. So those are from ZESTINO Australia. Very good motorsport tire, and it will be exactly perfect for what we need to keep Ronda consistent. We did overcook the Bridgestone tires with our brakes. Our brakes were overpowering the tires towards the end of things, so we need some better tires. But just quickly, time out, don't forget, you guys head over to spoolup.com, grab yourself some merch, some stickers, or any of the parts you see on this build, such as the injectors, the sensors, the coil packs, the plugs, the air intake, any of that sort of stuff. It's all available on spoolup.com, plus heaps of other CL9 and K series parts, so check it out. Support the channel, spoolup.com.au. We've been hard at it for a couple of hours now. Chris turned up, so thanks for gracing us with your presence, Chris.
Anytime.
But we've been hard at work. This is probably going to be a 2-night job because we've decided we're going to change all the wheel bearings. We've pulled out the complete knuckle. So what we've got down here on the ground is we've got these brand new Super Pro control arms. Now what they do is they take an OE arm, give it a really nice clean up. They've machined all of the surfaces, put in new bushes. So we've gone away from the OE rubber and we've gone to a urethane bush. Is that what it is? Urethane? Yep, just checking. Good job, boys. And they actually have these solid and probably slightly offset bushes here, which are actually a 3-piece. So I've just learnt that if you do get some of these and you do notice when they're in the car that there's a little bit of a crack or a split in there, there's the center bush and then there's an outer here and an outer here, and that helps to give some flex, because if that was solid, they'd actually tear and rip. This allows the bush to still move and pivot, which is what we want. And over the race car, these ones are the factory road safe replacement arms, which are awesome. They do the job perfectly, but as you can see here, the main bush which holds everything in does have a voided section to keep the vibrations and noise and stuff down. Being a race car, we don't care about that, so we're sending it with the solid Super Pro bushes. So I'm going to stick those in. We also have some brand new WHITELINE adjustable front sway bar links. Now these ones we can make them a bit tighter to give a little bit less flex in the front. I've already sort of dummied that one in there. It'll need to be tightened up because there isn't an aftermarket replacement sway bar for these. It's quite a beefy, chunky one from the factory. So we're just going to tighten up the front end with the adjustable links, which we have here from WHITELINE. In the rear, we've got a rear WHITELINE sway bar, and we've also got some really, really funky adjustable alloy links for the back. Now these are a lot longer and there's a lot more adjustment, so we can also tighten that up as well if we need to. And lastly, I just wanted to go over, just for this little brief segment, is the brake pads. Now, as we mentioned in a couple of other videos, we run Protex brakes and Protex brake pads as well. Now, we get a lot of use out of these bad boys. You can see this one is down to the metal, and that was us boys going a bit too hard on Ronda, and we used all of the material up. The brakes still actually worked pretty well, surprisingly, but the main thing is, which John pointed out to me, is why these are so good, is the material is still bonding to the metal backing plate. Normally when brakes get really, really hot and they start to wear rapidly, and you're using a lot of the pads and getting them really, really hot, this pad material will just pretty much, I don't know about fall off or crumble or flake, but it pretty much disappears and comes away from the backing plate, and then you've got no brakes. So the Protex ones have held up perfectly. These ones were the Ultra Plus, and again, you can grab those on the Spool Up website, spoolup.com.au. We know they work and we know they perform well. 6 hours of endurance, flogging the car, and they outbrake everyone else in the competition. And we also run the rear ones as well, which they don't obviously wear as much, but still good to have really good brakes in the back. Again, on the Spool Up website. And we're also doing brand new front and rear rotors and also Ultra Ceramic Plus brake pads from Protex. As you guys know, we've been running them. We've outbraked everybody else on the track, so we're going to stick with what we know works. And also, thanks to Protex for supporting the channel and the Ronda build. So in the last budget enduro, we did run about a month ago, and we all had a drive, but we did cut the event short. We packed up and went home. We had a couple of issues with a CV boot, spraying oil everywhere again. And then we also had some engine light issues with our wiring harness or some of the sensors. So we've had Chongi from Chongda to come out, check all those out, which was awesome. And he's told us to replace the crank trigger, which is this one down here. So I've replaced that. Hopefully when we fire the car up again, we don't have any engine codes. We're just tinkering away. We're going to do brand new wheel bearings in here because when the CV cooked itself, we're just concerned that we've cooked the bearings. So we've started to press those out, but we're going to get those done professionally because my little press can't do it. All right, so it's a new day. We can tell because Chris doesn't have his Japanese rally boots on today. I'm still wearing the same clothes, but we are back with Ronda. We had to call it a night. We learnt that the rear wheel bearings were cooked, even though they weren't making a lot of noise. Here's the old one here, and it's nice and grainy. And we also got brand new wheel bearings in the front and new ball joints. So that is a major upgrade because the other ones got so hot they weren't in the best of shape, being that we'd cooked a couple of drive shafts. So now we have new bearings all the way around, front and rear. We also have our brand new T7 MAXPEEDINGRODS coilovers. Now, it's important that we mention these. There's the old T6s down there. We've done some dyno testing. As always, we get Stig, our suspension guy, to do some shock dyno testing. And with every step, they're getting better and better and better. These ones dyno tested really, really well. The graphs look like some more high-end coilovers that we've tested before. So I'm very, very impressed with that. We've also gone up a kilo in the spring rate in the front and up a kilo in the spring rate in the rear. Stop it from boating around, which is good. And Stig's wasted zero time. We've spoken to our friends at Bearing Wholesalers and gotten some brand new wheel bearings for the rear. These ones are a hub assembly, so nice and easy to change. You don't need to press, just undo the 4 bolts at the back. And we've fitted the WHITELINE adjustable sway bar links, but what we're going to do for at least a test day is we're going to run with the factory rear sway bar and just see if the change in the suspension, the change in the links, the tyres and the camber arms are enough. We may not need the sway bar, but we've got it there thanks to WHITELINE and Super Pro, just in case we need it. Okie doke. You might notice a couple of changes. We've now added my Racecar sourced side skirts, which we got for 40 bucks each at Imlax. We've got the ZESTINOs on. We've got the brand new Protex rotors and brand new Protex pads. You can see in here, we've got those 3-piece Super Pro bushes, and that is to help give it flex, but also stay solid. So much thicker and juicier than the factory ones. Here you can see the hectic side skirts again and our new supporter of the build. Over to the rear, we've got the new T7 MAXPEEDINGRODS in. We haven't set the height on these, so we're going to throw the wheels on in a minute, nip everything up and then check ride heights. We've also got to give the car an oil change, but again, you'll notice the brand new Protex coated rotors and brand new Protex pads. Now, we've already done some of the filming for this, which we shot in the past. We're now in the future. There is currently actually a tampered budget enduro race day happening right now as we speak. Technically, Ronda could race in the event, but we want to come out strong. We want to get rid of any possible potential issues that we may have. We're just tackling those. We're having the next 2 months off because the next one after today is in 2 months. So you guys at home have got a lot of time to build a race car. We built our first iteration of Ronda ready for the track in about 3 to 4 weeks, which was actually turned out to be just 3 afternoons. And we were out ready to race. So, but also just before we get started, spoolup.com.au is now live. We are sending out parcels all the time. We've got heaps and heaps of bits and pieces, everything you're gonna need for your Honda Turbo build, plus plenty of merch. Grab yourself some merch stickers. A link is in the description below. We're gonna slap some more of these on Ronda. She's not glitzy enough. We need some more stickers. Back onto the stickers, you might notice we've just slapped them on willy-nilly, and that is so that we don't have to spend money on a paint job. We figure if we put more sponsor stickers on the car, then it'll look more like a race car and people won't be looking at the paint job. So a little bit of a strategic move there. Over to this big exciting box we have here. This box is from Elusive Racing. Inside here is going to be the extra power Ronda needs to destroy everybody on the racetrack. So we're going to do some more stuff besides budget enduro where we have to stick to 1:35. We're going to do some other events where we can try and see how fast we can actually go. So we might do some track days as well and see if we can push this under 1:30 around Sandown. All we've done here is I use the factory J-pipe flange and off the factory headers, and I've just made this 3-inch exhaust up. What I'm going to do now is unbox these bad boys and open up the box. And inside here we have some 4x2x1 Elusive Racing specially designed headers. Now you can get these on their website. I will also link that in the description as well. So you can go hit up Kenny, tell him I sent you, and grab yourself a set of Elusive Racing headers. We're gonna slam these on Ronda. So this is what you get when you grab yourself a set of headers from Elusive Racing. These are the CL9 specific ones. They also do K-swap ones. Every model Civic, every model Integra, they've got them all on the shelf. You can literally walk in there, ask Kenny for a set, and he'll hand them straight over to you. These ones, 4x2x1, and they come with a test pipe as well. Now these will fit directly bolt on to any CL9 Honda Accord, but because I jumped the gun and I went ahead and I made myself a 3-inch exhaust, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this flange, hack that off. I'm going to use this little donut here, this little gasket, and I'm going to then adapt it to this section of the exhaust which we have here. So there's no need to modify those. Those are perfect. And if you have a standard Honda Accord Euro, you can bolt them straight on and they'll be perfect for you too. But for me, I'm gonna have to modify them from here backwards, which shouldn't be too hard. We made a full exhaust before, so we'll get out the booger welder, the MIG. It is a race car, it doesn't have to be pretty. Not like these beautiful welds here on the Elusive headers. You know what it sounds like before? Can't wait to get it on track and see what it sounds like after. It's gonna be awesome. So this is what we were working with before on Ronda. These scummy little, tiny little tubes into a collector. Really crap. We are moving to the Elusive Racing 4x2x1. So I'm gonna fit those up now. Well, it's much later. I've done a bit of mucking around and got the exhaust sorted. So here we go here. It's now all matching up. And I just had to modify that a little bit. I put in an extra hanger just there. Again, this is the race car. It doesn't have to be as nice as my Civic or the VL. So it is slightly knocking here on the bumper, but we're going to trim that later anyway. But yeah, let's see what it sounds like. Hopefully it's not too loud. If it is, I'm going to have to go and redo that whole thing again and put a hot dog in there. The reason why I couldn't is because we only had that big barrel muffler, which doesn't quite fit in the tunnel. You can see it gets quite narrow just here and also back there. So I just decided to straight pipe it and just have the one muffler. Let's put it down, see what it sounds like. Woo! Raspy. Well, I think you'll agree that's pretty darn loud. It does sound good, but it's probably a little bit loud for the track. So I'll probably have to track down from XO Exhaust, one of our other supporters, and get a 3-inch hot dog muffler, and we'll throw that in the middle. I think the boys aren't going to be too happy with how loud that is. Anyway, that's enough of this video. Bored you guys long enough. Don't forget to grab some merch, link in the description. Get some spool up merch or just some parts for your Honda. Not just trying to flog your merch, trying to sell you things that can help you in your builds for a cheap price. So check out spoolup.com.au. Spool up, bring the boost, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.